Choo-choo train. Jody, they made an announcement to stay away from the tracks, and Jody understood what they said. Yeah. Well, you can pretty well guess whenever they're talking, it means stay the hell away from the tracks when the train's coming.
We're such a pig on this bathroom over here.
What?
Is this the bathroom you found?
30 cents. 30 cents to use the bathroom.
See if she gets in.
Oh, she got in. I don't have 30 cents. Welcome to our hotel room. It is
Last night in Paris.
so
Dana didn't do any Google reviews when he got this hotel.
I think I must have like looked at the wrong hotel. This is like a prison cell. And then
It has a fan.
this is our air conditioning. It's got a table and a sink. There's no toilet in here. It's a shared toilet on the floor. It's got a microwave and fridge though. So we got these this is our dinner because we don't want to go outside.
Well,
But-
it's 10 o'clock at night too.
But we're on like the 4th floor, so you look way down and you can see people. And there's a lot of people, and I see like young people walking around, like young girls by themselves. So either they're not scared or they're prostitutes, I don't know. So I don't know. So like, what do? We already paid for it. It's late. We're just gonna sleep and get up and skedaddle. Jody thinks we should look at the. She locked us in. I wonder if they got cameras. Hold the door for me. So these are the other rooms.
They have cameras in the bathroom. It's fine.
There's the douches and showers. There's another one over there. In case of emergency, run like hell. Run like hell. So, alright, that's all you need to know about this place. That's my video review. It's actually,
We
it's
already
not,
checked for bed bugs.
it's even though it's like dated and kind of, it's not really dirty, it's just like old and dated, and like the floor's not dirty, but it's like chipping away. I don't know, there's no air conditioning, and it's like 80 degrees outside. And I'm watching rugby. I think that's why all the bars are stuffed full of people, because France is playing New Zealand, I guess.
Did it start?
Yeah, so this big rugby tournament is like starting like this week, and like the big town. That's why we moved our bike trip was supposed to be a week later, but we had to move it up a week because the whole country's gonna be full of people. All right, that's all you need to know about the Royal Hotel, or what it was called, in Paris, France.
All royal mad.
Mad. All right, that's it. Okay. So the rugby game just got over. And France won. And down there on the corner is a bar. And they're all singing some type of song. That guy over there's interested too. They sure love their country and their rugby. I don't want to lean on this rail very hard. Alright, this is like playing weird. I kind of want to go down there and hang out with them. Alright, that's all you need to know about France and their rugby. Now they're playing I Will Survive and singing. I really want to go to... They can't speak English, but my God, they're singing... They're singing, Donna Summer. Don't lean on that too hard there, Jody. Kind of want to go down there and hang out.
They're singing it.
Oh, that's kind of funny. They don't speak English, but they're jamming the I Will Survive. It's Gloria Gaynor, right? Not Donna Summer.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I said Donna Summer. Before you post all the hate mail. Alright. Now they're singing Queen. I don't think it was the championship game. I think it was just one game. But yet, they're really enjoying it. They sing an American English song or just an English song, and then they sing a French song. Alright, that's last video.
It's hot and sweaty because it's like 80% humidity here.
It's we're in Paris. We're in a cemetery. Jody's hot and sweaty. So it's been 90s in Paris last couple of days. It's kind of humid. It's about, what time is it? 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning.
Almost 9.
So some people think cemeteries are scary, but not nearly as scary as the hotel we stayed at last night.
It wasn't that bad, quit it. It's supposed to be 96 today.
96 today. And if you're wondering why we're lugging our luggage around, this is our last day in Paris. We're taking the plane here.
About humidity. 74%.
74% humidity. So, Jody was looking at some of these tombstones. So this is the cemetery where a lot of the famous people in Paris are buried, and Jim Morrison is buried here. Where's the cemetery that, or the tombstone that you saw? So I'm not exactly sure how this works. Families have like this above ground thing. I'm not exactly sure how it works.
There's a new one down there from 2016. It's like an Asian family, and it doesn't fit in here because it's all
Something creepy about
Asian.
something creepy about like a black crow, raven, bird squawking in a cemetery.
Are you looking for that one?
Yeah. Oh, the Bastard family. So, how do you get the name Bastard family? It's probably pronounced something different, right? Bastard. Excuse me, you bastard. There's a baby grand piano on that one. It's different. So, some of these with moss growing on them, I don't know if it's like the family no longer is around to maintain it or what. Not sure. But this is a big cemetery. And it's on a hill. We're dragging our luggage up a hill. So most hotels let you keep your luggage there and then you come back and pick it up later that same day. Like we did that yesterday. We left our luggage at the hotel and went back in the afternoon, picked it up, and they even called a cab for us, which was nice because Uber wasn't available in that town apparently. And then to call a cab, like speak French to the people is a little confusing. So, and the hotel guests or hosts, they didn't speak English, so I had to use Google Translate for everything. They're pretty decent. When the guy, I turned on Google Translate for him to talk to my phone, he would grab my phone like a microphone, and like he was like talking at a concert, like oh that's shoes, He was
the best one.
Yeah, he was the best one because he instead of trying to repeat things 7 times in French, which we didn't understand, he immediately said, hey, let me talk on that microphone and you can read what I just said. Alright, I'm going to keep on going. So how big is this cemetery? I wasn't talking to you, Jody. It's a hypothetical question for my video. So how big is this cemetery? It's so big that it has a roundabout in it.
We don't have to go up that hill too.
No. We turn over there where those zombies are coming out. So, Casimir Pierre. There he is. What I have to say is there he is. The other question is who he is. Because I don't know who he is. But this is like I said in a different video, like the most popular cemetery in Paris, I think. It's not just we didn't just come over here because Jim Morrison is buried here. We came here because of we heard it was like pretty unique and cool and all kinds of stuff. In fact, the hotels all around here, when they advertise their amenities, they list it like a 5-minute walk to the famous cemetery. So, taking a break over there. Oh, so Jody's got a fun fact. Let me grab my luggage, leave it here in the middle of the roundabout. So bathrooms are very scarce in France, but Jody's found a travel hack. Somebody pooped on there. So what's your travel hack, Jody?
Every cemetery I've been in here has a nice public bathroom.
Yeah, So the nicest bathrooms in France are in the cemeteries. So if you're in Paris and you're roaming around and you can't find a public toilet, just go visit a cemetery. Unless it's after dark, then it's probably closed up and locked. So the cemetery also has a guard. So, alright, I'm gonna pause this. Continue my video. I took a wrong turn. Google took me down this road, which was the wrong road. We're looking at Jody. That one needs some cleanup. Should have brought our stickers, Jody. Stickers on this pole in the cemetery. All kinds of stickers. Somebody must be very tall to stick their stickers up there. They got like bamboo wrapped around this tree with shells to protect it, I guess. There's stickers all around this here. So they got this part fenced off. And then there's the Jim Morrison grave. So people want to know, why is Jim Morrison buried in Paris? Right, Jody? People want to know why he's buried in Paris. So Jim Morrison moved to Paris 3 months before he died to work on his poetry. He a couple of his poetry heroes, I guess you might say, or one of them was from Paris, and apparently he lived somewhat close by here. It would sometimes come over here and walk around the cemetery. And the deal with the what?
The gum.
Oh, I thought those were seashells.
That's gum.
Not very sanitary, so gum all stuck in this bamboo thing around this tree.
Must have some reason.
We don't know. So a picture of Jim Morrison and some different things, and you're not supposed to go over on that side. Yeah, so he was 1943 and 1971. So I think the story goes he originally didn't have a marker, but then there was a marker of some sculpture, and then it was stolen. And then later, he wouldn't have anything to do with his family, but later I think his father, in partnership with some donors, whatever, they came up with this monument here, a little heavier, so apparently they can't carry it off. So if you don't know what Jim Morrison died from, that's because I don't think most people know. He was found dead in his bathtub by his girlfriend, who he left everything to, apparently. And so when he died, she stated that he didn't have any family, and so they just buried him and didn't do an autopsy. And then apparently his an autopsy was never done. So he was 27, was found dead in a bathtub, and you know, you gotta imagine it was a drug overdose. Obviously, you don't have a heart attack at 27 typically. So anyhow, somebody can Google all this information I just said and verify that it's 95% wrong. So, alright, we're off to our next stop. Jody taking pictures. What are you taking a picture of?
I was trying to look at those words.
Oh, just look at those words. So we're standing last day in France, in Paris. We decided to come back, look at the Eiffel Tower one more time, because we'll probably never ever see it again. So make you sad, or it's just a fact? So it's a.
I might come back.
We might come back. So it's not that it's not worth seeing a second time. It's just that we got a lot of things to see and look at, and we wanna. What do you say? Oh, he's selling little miniature Eiffel Towers. We don't need a miniature Eiffel Tower. We have a magnet. We buy magnets when we go on vacations, places we go. And I got a couple boards in my office. We stick them on. They're cheap. They easy to carry. They don't create a lot of clutter. And then I can look at it and remember where we've been and what we've done. So it's our last day in France. Did I say that already?
Yeah.
I might have already said that. And yeah, so we took an Uber over here to look at this. This morning we went over to a cemetery where Jim Morrison's buried, plus some bunch of famous French people that are dead, who I don't know none of them, but apparently they're famous. Cemeteries here are like in New Orleans. The graves are above ground, it appears. I'm not exactly sure. I'm gonna have to do some research on that. Not that it's important for me to know that, but I'm just curious. So, Jody wants to walk a mile.
It's not a mile, it's a half a mile.
Jody wants to walk half a mile to a certain spot for a picture. I could Photoshop her probably into the same spot just as easy, but we gotta walk over there and get it. If I would have known that, I would have had the Uber guy drop us off there instead of dropping us off a mile away and then walking to it.
He dropped us off at a boulangerie.
Boulangerie. Am I saying that right?
Boulangerie.
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 So we went to a boulangerie, which is a bakery. I had a
croissants.
Jody had a croissant, and I had I think it was a cherry tart, but it was like a cherry coffee cake.
It wasn't a tart, it was a coffee cake.
Yeah, I was disappointed. It tasted good, but it's not what I wanted. So, alright, that's an update. It's probably about 11 o'clock local time, maybe.
Yeah.
And so we're going to do all this, and then sadly we're going to get an Uber, go to the airport. The airport's only 15 miles, but it takes over an hour to get there because of the traffic. So, alright. Alright, this is a post-vacation video. People thought just when they were safe from my boring videos about France, and I'm making a post-trip video. So when we go on vacations, there's souvenir shops, there's all kinds of stuff you can buy. And I don't know if Jody made the decision, but we made a decision several years ago. We can't buy a bunch of clutter.
Oh, I didn't make that decision.
I guess that was my decision.
That's your decision.
Jody likes buying clutter.
I am fine with clutter.
So, but I made a decision that we want to buy something so we can remember our trips. And so what we start doing is buying, it became like an accident, refrigerator magnets. We start buying magnets. The nice thing about magnets is that if you're on a bike, you can still buy them and carry them. They're not big, heavy, or bulky. They actually fit in your pocket. And then I have in my office area I bought a whiteboard actually when I was doing some online teaching to draw some things on and everything. And I never really used it, but it was magnetic. And then I noticed I started sticking things on there just because it was magnetic. And I decided to use it as a magnet board for our vacations or whatever. So that's why we collect magnets. Easy to carry, they're cheap, like $3. And then we try to collect them where we go. Now this trip we could have probably have bought 100 magnets, all the places we visited, but we obviously didn't have room to buy 100 magnets, but we bought some in the major spots that we stopped. So here's some of the magnets we bought. So the Arc de Triomphe Paris is I believe like it's when you climb up to the top of that, which we did, and actually people say, did you climb to the top of the Eiffel Tower? Well, we talked to enough people that said climbing to the top of the Eiffel Tower, you can see out in Paris, but what you're looking at is not the Eiffel Tower. And so people said, go to the top of this Arc de Triomphe Paris, and then from there you get a really good view of the Eiffel Tower. And you can still see all of Paris pretty much from the top of that. I forget how many floors or stories it is, but it's very old, and it was worth the climb. The one thing I wish, we climbed that the same day we arrived in Paris, after basically being awake all night and up for 48 hours. Then we walked.
It was, how many stair steps?
It was a lot of steps. It was hot.
200 something?
And we walked like a mile to get there. And I was a little bit, I think we were both a little bit leery of, or dazed from the trip and jet lagged. And so we didn't get to enjoy it as much as I had wanted to. We're trying to acclimate it to Paris in general and everything else. So we bought a magnet there. The next one, how do you pronounce it, Jody? Concierge de Paris. Concierge. So this place was interesting. So wasn't it the palace for the?
It was a palace. It was a palace at one time.
So it was a palace at one time. Then it became a prison during the ages of the Marie Antoinette.
The Revolution.
And the French Revolution became a prison. And this is where she was housed before she had her head chopped off with the guillotine. And visiting this was neat. But then, like, you're reading the things that, like, this is where the people were in prison before they put them on carts and then took them down in the town square and chopped their heads off. And so it's kind of gory, kind of weird, dark history, and kind of gruesome when you read about this stuff and you hear about this stuff, and when you go there and you're standing in the cell of where these French people during the French Revolution were held right before they were executed, it was kind of gross and weird and everything. And right next to it was this Saint Chapelle, which had how many stained glass windows? 10,000 stained glass windows. So we bought tickets for that. And included with that was an entrance to the.
Well, you got my phone.
This other thing here. This by itself wasn't worth the price of admission, but combined with the.
What?
This over here
the
was.
Church?
Yeah.
I like that church. It was cool.
Anywho. And then the Sacre de say that, Jody. Sacre Coeur. Hey, don't move that. We're looking at it. Put that back. Sacre Coeur.
Sacre Coeur?
That's a church.
I don't know.
So this was in the, what district was that? The
Montmartre
district. So which is
up a hill.
Up a big hill.
Cobblestones everywhere.
Cobblestone, and from there you get a really good view of the rest of Paris, but you couldn't see the Eiffel Tower from there. Too far away. Well, it was in an angle on the back side of the hill, and you couldn't get at least we didn't see the Eiffel Tower. So we went through that big church. It's just, there's hundreds of churches in France, like not that big, but equivalent. So this is not a summary of everywhere we went, because we went a lot more places, and this is where we bought magnets. And then this was from the catacombs, and the catacombs, if you don't know, is so when they built Paris and they built all these things like this chair or this building and that palace, these churches, they mined limestone, and it wasn't like open pit quarries like we got here. They went down like almost like coal mines, and then they got limestone block, and then they use it to build the Paris. So under Paris, there's like miles and miles of these tunnels where they quarried out limestone. And then during the medieval times, I guess you might say, was it like the 1200s or 1100s or whatever? I might have this a little bit wrong. Or up to the 1700s. When did they start putting the bones in the catacombs?
I thought they started putting them in there in the 1700s.
So during different plagues and stuff, they'd have, thousands of people dying, like hundreds daily, and they were running out of cemeteries, and then also there were so many people dying that people were getting diseased, and then also the groundwater was getting like contaminated because of the decomposing bodies. So whatever king was active at the time, was it Louis the 14th?
I think it was.
So they decided to actually basically dig up these bones and then take them down in these hollowed out areas where they had quarried limestone and put, start using that for whatever, the bodies and bones. And there's miles and miles and miles, and how many millions? Like 7 million sets of skeletal remains down there, something like that.
I don't know, millions.
And then the part that's open to the public where you can walk through is only a tiny part. So we did that tour, and I had kind of like mixed thoughts about the whole thing. I thought it was kind of weird that they put these bones on display and earn money, but maybe the money is turned back into preserving. I don't know. You think they would just seal it up and let them rest in peace? I don't know.
There's over 1,000 stained glass windows.
Thousands of stained glass windows in that church.
Over 1,000.
We're beyond that now, Jody. So then we start out riding our bike. Then these are kind of order of things we did. We actually rode on the Canal de Lateral of the Garonne. So Garonne, the canal that runs lateral with the river, the Garonne River. And then in Toulouse, we got on a different canal, the Canal du Midi, and then continued to the Mediterranean Sea. I don't know why we didn't buy a magnet for the...
we must not have saw them anywhere.
We must, yeah. A lot of times it just happened to be, did we see a magnet that caught our eye? And
we were in small towns.
A lot of times we didn't go shopping for magnets. We just were like in somewhere and we would see one and grab it. So it wasn't a main priority to find a magnet everywhere we went. Sometimes I wish it was, because there's places we've been that we didn't buy magnets in our travels. But the Canal du Midi, there was an aqueduct where you see the boat floating across the bridge over, I don't know what river that would have been, but the Tarn, maybe? Tarn River?
Or the Aude, I don't know.
The Aude River. So the Canal du Midi doesn't go over the Garonne, but aqueduct. What else we got? Oh, Carcassonne. So Carcassonne is a medieval fortress. It's a city within these walls. And it was one of the highlights of our trip. Just going in there and how massive it is and how tall these walls are. And thick. And to imagine how they built that back in the day. One of the most impressive things I've seen that's man-made. I could go on and on about that. And then at the end of our trip, we arrived at the Mediterranean Sea and we arrived to the Mediterranean Sea before Set. They rolled about 15 kilometers along the beach on a bike path to Set, which was, we spent an extra day there, enjoyed that area. We swam in the Mediterranean Sea. Water was a bit chilly. Met a lot of people who didn't speak English, but we talked to them anyhow, and we seemed to enjoy their conversations, even though we didn't understand a word they said. And then the last thing I saved is this little magnet replica Eiffel Tower. And we did not go up the Eiffel Tower because we just decided we didn't want to do that. And it's more interesting to look at the Eiffel Tower, not to go up the Eiffel Tower and look out at everything else. So you can't really see the Eiffel Tower from...
Oh, there's a restaurant up there, like on the second floor, where you can pay $500 for lunch.
Yeah, you go up there and pay $500 for lunch. So, like I said earlier, we went up in here, and then we viewed the Eiffel Tower from there to get a cool view of it. So, it's not that we're cheap, it's just that we just decided not to do that. So, and then one of the B&Bs we stood at, the guy was an artist, and he drew these little thingies, painted.
He had big and little paintings.
So this is a little painting, so you can see like the size of my hand here.
Almost the size of a magnet.
It's about 4 by 4, and so we're gonna put a magnetic strip on that in the back.
You can't cover it up though,
And
so you have to figure out.
he signed it for us. For Dana and Jody, Domain Day. What's her name? Marak, and his name was Thomas.
Her name was Veronica.
Veronica.
Veronique, however they pronounce it.
Monique. So we don't know. Interesting place we stayed at. It'd been her family for 5 generations. She was pretty passionate and kind of proud of the house. She told us all about it and everything. So anyhow, that's a summary of some of our magnets. Only a fraction of the things and places we visited. Like I said, we could have bought 100 magnets while we were there. These weren't necessarily the favorites or anything, just happened to be the ones that we bought. So, alright, if you think you're safe from my vacation videos, you're wrong. There'll probably be more, so prepare yourselves.